No, for me, I think the president all along has been looking for war to fight with the members of parliament. That's why he's going to the press and alleging anything against us. Like when he returned the appropriation bill, alleging that we have been diverting money that would be helping him to make roads. Which road has he ever proposed and members of parliament stopped? Even the one going to Congo, we allowed it and it passed. Now he is insisting. We know that critical role these agencies play in the delivery of services to this country. We dared and removed the REA. You must know how we are suffering. REA had an agenda where we were not even chasing them, but now we have to chase Ministry of Energy. I have, for instance, I have here a number of requests of so many places in my constituency which have not been connected. But I'm sure if REA was there, they would have done this work. Now you want us to remove UNRA because you don't like either the people who are working there or what? Not what the agency does. Does he know that it is UNRA helping him to win every election? These agencies, they are the ones helping him to win every election that he goes into.
So what's going to be the risk in case Parliament?
Of course, I am already telling you the problems we are facing. They went ahead and rationalized the REA. REA, that is Rural Electrification Agency. 4 years down the road, the only thing they are doing now is free connections. Those where power was, they are doing free connections of giving people. If you have wired your house, they give you free connections. But there are many places where power has never reached. And I am sure, because of killing REA, the problem is going to persist. We are going to finish 5 years without doing anything in that area. They wanted the same thing to happen to other areas.
Are you going to put the pressure?
Not for me. I will stand against the pressure. I will stand against the pressure because I know the critical role those agencies play. 2, they are claiming that they are spending a lot of money. On NITAU, we asked them how much are you saving by rationalizing NITAU. They said 200 million. Can you rationalize an agency that is at the forefront of running digitalization of this country? Digitalization of this country, simply because of 200 million. 200 million, which you are getting, which was buying one vote of a member of parliament to vote against age limit. He bought 200 million. That's why we rejected rationalization of NITAU. If he has brought it, for me, I did not see any reason whatsoever, particularly on NITAU. And now maybe he has a plan of blackmailing members of parliament. And I will invite my colleagues to be very, very careful. Very, very careful. Come on the floor of the House, go to the committee, do your work. Even when these CEOs try to talk to you, please let them talk to you in your office or in the committee. He is at the forefront because now, as we talk, our colleagues are in prison for attempting to have a cup of tea with. Now I even still start doubting the recordings he's claiming, the evidence he's claiming to have against our colleagues who are in prison. I still start doubting them. He is at the forefront of blackmailing members of parliament.
Mbakuba nzenga kayemba solo nebukoma nsimbi jenva bwe ntunira mwa Museveni nga agamba nti enkya agenda kukuza achievements ze nzendo zandibadde akwatibwa nnaku ku mawanga amalala ge yasanga gali ku level emu bwowe gatuuse n'eryaffe weriri kyannaku nnyera kyandibadde kimwe kubya mu mutima n'amanya nti okusabwenda amawanga amalala bwe gaguse n'eryange bweriri nandibadde nyamba bannayuganda nemba mu ntebe bannayuganda ne bafuna omukulembeze omulala oba oli awo alina ideas endala ezisinga ezange alina by'achivinze naye bitono nnyo ku nsi bwe yandibadde egenda. Yeah, it's so sad that the president tomorrow is celebrating his achievements. If I was him, I would just feel sad and maybe mourn. Because when I look at the countries, by the time we came, at the level, the countries which were on the same level, where they are and where ours is, it's so sad that he's celebrating. What is he celebrating? I think it would be high time for him to sit somewhere alone and know the harm that Ugandans have got during his era, so that he can maybe leave the leadership and other people come with different ideas. I know he has achieved some things, but they are very little according to the things we have lost.
Sure, tomorrow the president is celebrating his achievement as the president of the Republic of Uganda. I believe it is worth it to be celebrated because Uganda has moved to a stage that even when some people who left 30 years ago come back, ask which country they are in all sectors, in the road network, in the socio-economic transformation, and in every sector. And I really believe the president is worth it to celebrate his achievement, which we believe that Uganda is now moving into a middle-income state, and this is going to put us on the map of Africa as a country to know that we are performing well. On addition to that, yesterday I was so happy when I was reading our national newspaper, the New Vision, and Uganda was being branded the second best country in Africa with good democracy. And I think that is worth it to be celebrated because we have peace and stability in the country that has led a lot of economic investment, making Uganda to be the best country within the East African region, attracting industrial investment. And we believe if that is done for more years to come, it will make Uganda as one of the big hubs of employment within our region. And therefore, I believe President Museveni's celebration is not in vain because there are some yardsticks to show, there are marks to show as Ugandans that he has scored for all the time he has performed as the president of Uganda, and that's why I keep supporting him.
I'm James Kabeluka, Member of Parliament, Chinchizi West, and this is my second time in Parliament. This is the first time I have seen a bill returned by the President handled in the same manner the way it was handled on Tuesday. I think the Parliament has gone down to that level where we can bow to the executive without interrogating the reasons for return. Because Article 91 of the Constitution commands the President to do three things: either to sign the bill or return on the specific sections that he feels not comfortable with, and three, to reject. That means if he rejects the bill in its entirety, it means that the bill has to be restarted, not just coming to stampede the Parliament and then you pass what you don't know. In the first place, he rejected. He took the third option. I expected the Speaker to put the bill to the committee and then interrogate the concerns therein. But immediately to turn the Parliament into a committee of Parliament, which is also okay, and don't allow to interrogate the issues therein, it was unfair. That's what hurt some of us who have been in this House, and especially who mean well for this country. First of all, what the claim by the President, he first castigated the Parliament that the money was diverted to areas where they wanted to steal the money. Unfortunately for him, he didn't know. Probably himself did not interrogate the areas that the Parliament had put the money. And when the budget chairperson read the items and areas where we had put the money, those were the political needs of the people. And these areas were emanating from the committee, sector committees different sector committees of the parliament which were unfunded priorities. That scenario of unfunded priorities has just come in this era. Why? Because planning starts in September, but hardly does Ministry of Finance consider what we get from the people. But the ministries continue bringing issues to the Committee of Budget. So in a view of the President, what would he want the Committee of Parliament or the Parliament to do when you find redundant money that he would have otherwise bought an ambulance, would have otherwise constructed a theater, that would have otherwise constructed a road? You find somebody is reclaiming the money without a justification. Now, what is the justification for allocating money? A minister or a sector should have a work plan. In this case, ministries didn't have work plan, sufficient work plan to justify the demand for the money. You find that a work plan that they have is accommodating 20 billion. Why would you add such a sector 40 billion, extra 20 billion? That one you put it where there is a need. And what also surprised me was the chairperson of the budget committee to concede. To concede to what? Which means he conceded for the claim of the president that the parliament are thieves and they have stolen that money. So the for the chairman to concede, it meant that he conceded to the president's claim that the parliament had stolen the money. And that is very unfortunate, especially after reading to the Ugandans where they had put the money. Health centers, mothers are producing under trees. You will go to Entebbe Hospital, or Entebbe Referral Hospital. Mothers are producing on the floor, and it is near the State House. Should it also be said by the opposition, when I'm here as a member of parliament from NRM, people, the schools, children are studying under trees. And where there are no trees, they are not school, they are not studying anyway. They don't have the shelter. The social media has been abashed with all those structures. So you are a president, you are saying the money that has been put to the schools, to health centers, to intelligence systems where the GSOs have no fuel, and you are saying the parliament stole the money. That is an unfortunate statement that we need to interrogate, and maybe the president have a dialogue with the members of parliament, because we are all leaders that mean for this country something very grateful. So the speaker going forward ought to have no fear, because once you cause fear among the speaker and the other people, because they first terrified them, they took them to the CID, they had to make sure they shook them. Now, when they came here, they were trembling. That one cannot cause a harmonized budget, meaning well for the country. Because let him highlight any item that was put in the budget that was meaning safety. At least there we can discuss. But as far as I know, this vote 130 is a hideout of money meant for thieving. That's where, if you recall, the supplementary schedule number 1 of the last year, we asked them, where is the source of money? Treasury operations. So why did they have to get the money from the treasury operations, yet it was meant to pay the loans, which means it was over budgeted. And this has been recurrently happening. Because they hide the money, that's why you find that in 3% they put items which were rejected by the parliament. You can imagine. They put it in the 3% supplementary. So there is a lot to discuss. President is being hoodwinked by these technocrats to show that they are clean and the parliament is wrong. That's why you can able to say parliament is wrong. First of all, I want to ask the media also, why haven't you asked the executive? The first thieves were the iron sheet thieves. How many were in the executive? How many? Which percentage was in the executive? And why didn't he say, my executive are thieves? And he goes to the parliament. That means that there is Parliament is becoming a scapegoat of the president and the executive to only get a drum to beat, yet they are dancing another song, which is corruption. Besides all these challenges, the president, as a president, I don't know whether he's celebrating his own achievements or the achievements of the entire nation. If he's celebrating his own achievements, he knows them better. But as a head of state and the chairman of my party, NRM has done a great deal of work that is worth celebrating. For example, the consistent peace from 1986 to date is worth celebrating. That's a great achievement in Africa. There is no country in Africa that has enjoyed peace like Uganda. At least that one is worth celebrating. Also, in terms of infrastructure, we have gone a milestone. We have gone a milestone in terms of roads, but unfortunately, he is also going to stab himself in the back, especially by annihilating UNRWA, which has done a great deal of work. And the time it came in, and the time it had not come in, we have at least covered a big area in terms of infrastructure, road infrastructure. Another achievement I can talk about is about health. At least we have improved somehow. Another area is agriculture. At least UCDA has done a great deal of work in agriculture. And now we can also celebrate as a country that our coffee, the standards of our coffee has improved greatly. But the problem with the president now, he is again stabbing himself in the back by succumbing to the pressure of the technocrats to take back the coffee to the Ministry of Agriculture. That one is going to cost him because you should remember that under agriculture has failed to regulate tea, and tea companies have completely collapsed. He should know that sugar has impoverished people because of lack of regulation. And now he wants also to impoverish people that are dealing with coffee by taking UCDA back to the ministry. If ministry is candid enough and has done, can do well, why can't it first regulate tea and do better in tea and sugar, and then we see what it can do in coffee? So, Mr. President, it's worth celebrating agriculture improvement as a sector, and coffee, the milestone we have gone in coffee improvement, but also check whether in the next financial year, in the next time, after barring coffee, in the name of recentralizing that sector, what you are going to celebrate next? Are you going to also have what to celebrate? You should desist it from succumbing to pressure of the technocrats. As a gorilla, as you always say, he needs to sink before these actions are done, because some are bets to make sure we collapse as a government.